was close. What on earth is going on here? I don't like that. Is someone else after the eye as well? But even if that is the case, what does the audio tape have to do with it? I can't let it get to me. I have a job to do. I'd prefer to lock the door. Someone could come in and catch me at any moment. But it's important not to leave a trace. Inch absolutely cannot find out about us. I must hurry. No, I'd better leave the cabin as I entered it. It seems like Dr. Gebhardt was able to wrestle himself away from his work, but he still doesn't seem to be very relaxed. Quite the opposite. And why won't he go to the saloon? Dr. Gebhardt! Getting some fresh air?
Oh, you could say that.
Do you know the Egyptian queen, Nefertiti?
Yes. There is a famous bust of her.
Really? Tell me more.
No, I am sorry. I do not have time for that.
Does Guernica mean anything to you?
Now listen, young lady, I do not know what they told you, but just because I am German, I am not responsible for the crimes of my government.
Crimes? What are you talking about?
We obeyed orders, just like everybody else. Now leave me alone.
Do you know what the monogram AD stands for?
What?
A capital A with a small d below it.
Yes, I do. Will you leave me alone if I tell you what it means?
You know.
It is not just any monogram. It is the first. Albrecht Dürer, a German artist, signed all his works with it. He was the first artist to sign all of his work with a monogram. It was not common to do so before then.
Are you sure?
His wooden engravings were, and still are, printed billions of times in Germany.
Billions of times? You're exaggerating.
Not at all. His work appears on German marks.
And what?
That's enough. I told you what you wanted to know. Please, leave me alone now.
Dr. Geb.
Yes?
Buonarroti.
No idea.
But...
Try your luck somewhere else and leave me alone, please. Thank you.
I ought to be going.
Thank God.
A deal?
In the shower.
I found the secret compartment.
Oh, brilliant! And the jewel?
I'm working on it. A deal?
Yes?
I almost got caught in the Baroness's cabin.
What happened?
I don't know. A man came in and I just had time to hide under the bed.
Maybe it was a steward who came to clean the cabin?
And turn on a tape recorder in the cupboard?
Huh. Maybe it was Inch. He wanted some music?
There was nothing on the tape. It was playing, but I didn't hear anything. Something is rotten here.
Don't bother your pretty little head about it. Swap the eye and hurry back. I've got a surprise for you.
I don't think your surprise will really surprise me. The secret compartment is secured with a combination lock.
Is there any way in?
Not without leaving evidence. I need the combination.
Are there any hints?
A memory aid consisting of several works of art. There are animals on the lock.
The works of art might hint at specific animals.
Yes, I think so too. About the combination.
Yes.
Does Nefertiti mean anything to you?
An Egyptian queen?
That's it?
I didn't have an affair with her, if that's what you mean. She's not my type, and she's been dead for thousands of years.
Well then, I'll take your word for it. Guernica. Sounds Spanish, doesn't it?
Yes, it's a city in the Basque region.
Does it have a heraldic animal? Or maybe the region has one?
I don't know. I've never been there. I just know it because the city was bombed by the Nazis during the Spanish Civil War.
Nazis? In the Spanish Civil War?
Well, not officially, of course. At the request of General Franco, his friends from Germany reduced a defenseless city to ashes and rubble. Picasso immortalized the bombing in his famous painting.
Really? Is it on display in Spain?
Silly. As long as Franco is in charge, he won't allow that.
Where is it?
Oh, no idea. Paris, maybe? Picasso lived there for a long time.
Maybe doesn't help me much. Buonarroti's Adam. Who's that?
Buonarroti, seems familiar somehow.
To me as well, but I don't know why.
No, I have no idea. I don't know him.
Someone must. I'll be going. Don't waste all the hot water.
Never.
Westmacott?
Yes.
I hear you're well-versed in Egyptian history, Lady Westmacott. Can you tell me anything about Nefertiti?
A queen. The main wife of Akhenaten.
Did she have a favorite animal?
What a strange question.
I, just heard that they really adore cats in ancient Egypt.
Well, that's true, but I don't know whether Nefertiti had any special affinity for animals.
It must be exciting to meet all the world's famous and powerful people.
I stay away as far as possible from high society. Too shallow. Too boring.
But some of them must be exciting. Have you ever met Picasso?
They told him he's a genius so often that he actually started to believe it himself.
But his paintings are impressive. Guernica, for example.
Well, it certainly is big. I have to give him that.
Didn't he have to flee from Spain?
Yes, from the fascists, but not just him. Many of his paintings as well. If I remember correctly, Guernica is currently on display in the Museum of Modern Art in New York. He bequeathed it to a future Spanish republic.
And until then it stays in New York?
Yes. It's been there for years now.
Have you ever been to New York?
For the love of God, what would I do there? We have the original York in England. That's quite enough for me.
Are you interested in art?
Not really. I'm more interested in real life, in people.
So, you don't know Albrecht Dürer?
Just because I'm not interested in art doesn't mean that I'm ignorant.
What can you tell me about him?
Books, my dear, books. In them, you'll find the answers to all your questions, even the most foolish ones.
I bet you don't know anything about him and you just want to cover it up.
Ah, you want to appeal to my honor. Too obvious, I'm afraid.
I saw a sign in Venice. It said Buonarroti. Do you know what it means?
I'm sorry, I don't speak Italian.
May I take my leave?
You may.
He's sweating profusely. I hope the crew doesn't take the captain for a role model, and that they stay sober for the rest of the trip. Hello, Captain DeCanti.
Miss Meyers, how nice to see you. You look beautiful. We missed you at dinner.
I was in my cabin. I didn't feel very well.
Oh, I hope you're feeling better.
Lovely concert, wasn't it?
You only heard the end. It was really wonderful.
All the more curious that Lady Westmacott embarrassed Mr. Kreutzer like that, don't you think?
I have no idea what got into her. They say she's a difficult person, but this... Maybe it's the privilege of famous people to be a bit strange from time to time. When I was still a young sailor, Enrico Caruso was a passenger on our ship. And he...
I think she's fascinating. She's achieved so much, and all by herself.
Lady Westmacott? Oh yes, that's true. The most successful writer in the world.
Do you know any more about her?
Everything. I'm her biggest fan. What do you want to know?
Where is she from?
Her father, she had an outstanding education, but was ill.
I know how she feels.
Don't say that, my child. Your father paid for the life you now lead.
Did Lady Westmacott's father marry again?
Yes, a woman 15 years his junior. She didn't really care for the child. She was something of a high society lady. She made the headlines with her antics more often than the family would have liked.
And her novels. How did she come to be a writer?
In interviews, she always mentions her French tutor, who encouraged her to write when she was a child. After some poems and short stories, she began to write detective novels with great success. The rest is history. The experts are arguing whether she or Shakespeare has sold more books.
Although she doesn't receive the same deference.
That's true. But her books are much more innovative and extraordinary than people generally give her credit for.
And what does an elderly lady like her want in Egypt?
I couldn't really say. She was there many times with her husband, an archaeologist. He died a long time ago.
I heard something about a reception at the Egyptian Museum.
But I don't think she'd go to Cairo just for that. She usually stays away from official events. Didn't participate in the literary scene either. Always stayed as far away as possible from high society, probably because of her stepmother.
Is it true that you're a war hero?
Mm-hmm. In 2 world wars.
You're as old as you feel.
Oh God, I hope not.
Aren't you feeling well?
You shouldn't burden your pretty little head with the dark thoughts of an old man, my dear.
If you don't feel well, maybe you should take it easy.
I'm afraid if I take it easy, it'll kill me.
You seem to be a pessimist.
Fatty liver, asthma, gallstones, jaundice, gout, shingles, hemorrhoids, varicose veins, circulatory trouble, knee problems, pulmonary embolism, gastritis, migraine, neuralgia, tinnitus, rheumatism, pleurisy, thrombosis, and constipation. Those are what's been diagnosed so far. My body is a curse.
Oh, I didn't mean to... I'm sorry.
Forgive an old man. I didn't mean to shock you.
Do you know Nefertiti?
Is she a Greek queen?
No, she... Oh, never mind. Do you know Albrecht Dürer?
Yes, an artist. Not bad. But he has his weaknesses as well.
For example?
For one, he wasn't Italian.
That's a pity.
You can say that again.
At least he lived in Italy for a while.
What else can you tell me about him?
I once overheard an argument on board between a German and a Spaniard about who elevated the woodcut to an art form, Albrecht Dürer or Alberto Durero. Eventually, they realized they were talking about the same man.
Albrecht Dürer is called Alberto Durero in Spain?
That's right. Don't ask me why.
An old seaman like you must surely have been to New York, right?
Aye, aye. My usual territory is the Mediterranean, but I've crossed the Atlantic many times. It's always a great moment when the Statue of Liberty appears on the horizon.
You wouldn't happen to know the heraldic animal of New York?
No. Maybe an eagle?
Buonarroti. That sounds Italian, doesn't it?
Ha! You can say that again. Buonarroti is the name of the greatest artist of all time, Michelangelo Buonarroti, who most people only know by his first name. Just imagine, one man, an Italian, achieves perfection in all three movements of graphic arts. His David is the most famous statue in the world. As an architect, he was a genius. He built parts of St. Peter's Basilica.
And as a painter, Michelangelo painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel.
The creation of Adam. The spark of life leaps from God to Adam. One of the most famous paintings in the world.
Yes, it is. The Sistine Chapel, Apostolic Palace, Vatican City. I don't know any animals associated with them.
Animals?
Oh, it's a game I used to play. My father posed me a riddle, and I have to guess an animal.
And Buonarroti's Adam was the hint? Maybe he meant Rome. According to legend, the founders of the city, Romulus and Remus, were raised by a she-wolf.
No, that's too vague. Does Vatican City have an animal on its coat of arms?
No.
And the Pope?
Every pope has his own emblem, but the new one doesn't have an animal.
You don't seem to like the new Pope.
It's too early to say. But who's fit to hold a candle to John the 23rd? Il Papa Buono, as we used to call him. The good Pope.
He just died recently. What was his heraldic animal?
He was a lion, and so was his heraldic animal.
For a Catholic, Buonarroti's Adam could be a mnemonic for the lion. Pope John XXIII was elected in the Sistine Chapel like every other pope. A work of art hints at a coat of arms with a lion on it. Maybe. I'll make a note of lion. Captain
Yeah?
You're still the captain of...
They couldn't just get...
Don't say...
This ship...
Captain!
I'd like to rest for a...
The Baroness seems to have a reason to celebrate. She's downing one glass of champagne after another. The less I have to do with her, the better. Best if she doesn't even... Although, based on her alcohol consumption, I don't really think I have to worry about that. The lady is not a... I shouldn't talk to her and... Dr. Gebhardt.
Here.
Have you ever heard of a Picasso?
That's enough. I am saying this as politely as I can. Please leave me alone. We can discuss these unimportant things tomorrow, if it is really necessary.
I was talking to the captain. He didn't look well. Is he sick?
I am sure you will understand that I cannot discuss them.
Why?
I didn't mean that. It is a matter of confidentiality.
I asked whether the captain is ill and you called him one of my patients. Haven't you already answered my question?
What do you want?
I ought to be going.
Thank God.